And as we speak, the world's richest man, Elon Musk, has full access to the U.S. Treasury federal payment system, and Democrats are ringing the alarm bell. Take a look.
Before our very eyes, an unelected shadow government is conducting a hostile takeover of the federal government.
This is the most corrupt administration in our history, and it's putting our economy, our government, and our most at-risk communities in serious jeopardy.
Elon and his handful of friends now have full access to your personal and financial information that's in the system. Your payment history, your social security number, your bank account numbers. Elon now has the power to suck out all of that information for his own use.
Yeah. So, the White House, however, is claiming that they're keeping his power in check. Take a look.
Mr. President, why is it important for Elon Musk to have access to the payment systems at Treasury?
Well, he's got access only to letting people go that he thinks are no good if we agree with him. And it's only if we agree with him. He's a very talented guy from the standpoint of management and costs. Elon can't do and won't do anything without our...
Backlash is nothing new for The View, but this time they might have crossed a line they can't walk back from. It all started when Whoopi Goldberg and Sunny Hostin began spinning a bizarre conspiracy theory, claiming that Elon Musk was secretly maneuvering to take over Donald Trump's government. The accusations weren't just reckless, they were completely unfounded, yet delivered with the kind of certainty that made even loyal View fans do a double-take. For a moment, there was a stunned silence. Then the control room erupted into chaos. Producers scrambled behind the scenes, realizing in real time that they were witnessing a full-blown PR disaster unfold on live television. It wasn't just the absurdity of the claims, it was the sheer legal risk. Accusing one of the world's most powerful billionaires of a government takeover without a shred of evidence. That wasn't just bad television. It was a potential defamation lawsuit waiting to happen before things could spiral even further. A senior producer made an unprecedented move, rushing onto the stage mid-broadcast in a desperate attempt to stop the train wreck from becoming a full-scale legal nightmare. But Whoopi wasn't fazed. If anything, she seemed to relish the moment, unfazed by the panic unfolding around her. Meanwhile, Sunny...
So, I mean, are Americans going to be okay with Musk? Oh, okay. A guy nobody voted for, having all this kind of power. And you know, the news outlet Wired found out that at least 6 of the gentlemen on Elon Musk's team are between the ages of 19 to 24 with little or no government experience, and one is in college. I mean, who are these people and why do they have access to any of your business?
Well, they don't. What they're doing is actually illegal. Everyone knows that the separation of powers allows for Congress to decide. They have the power of the purse. This is money that was already allocated from taxpayer money.
When Whoopi Goldberg and Sunny Hostin began their latest tirade against Elon Musk, no one expected it to turn into one of the most controversial moments in The View's history. But that's exactly what happened. What started as a routine political discussion quickly escalated into a wild, unverified conspiracy theory, with Whoopi alleging that Musk was actively working behind the scenes to position himself as a shadow ruler in a Trump-led government. Sunny, never one to back down, jumped in with even more dramatic claims. She insisted that Musk was pulling strings through backdoor deals, using his wealth and influence to shape policy decisions in ways that hadn't yet come to light. The way she spoke, you'd think she had uncovered the biggest scandal of the century, except for one glaring issue. There wasn't a single fact to back it up. For once, even The View's most outspoken Trump critics seemed uneasy. Joy Behar, who usually revels in Musk bashing, shifted uncomfortably in her seat. She darted nervous glances off camera, as if silently asking the producers, "Are we really letting them say this on air?" Sarah Haynes, the panel's usual voice of reason, attempted to interject, but Whoopi shot her a glare so sharp that she immediately backed down. Then, the unthinkable happened. A senior producer, looking visibly panicked, stormed onto the stage in front of a live audience, something that never happens. With a headset still on and a clipboard in hand, he leaned in and whispered frantically to both Whoopi and Sunny, his gestures urgent, as if trying to get them to stop before they dug themselves into an even deeper hole, but it was too late. The moment had already been broadcast, and the fallout was about to be brutal.
Started learning about Elon Musk now being a special government employee, which means he has top security clearance, but he doesn't have the obligations that a full federal employee has, so he doesn't have to give the same amount of disclosures. He has less conflicts of interest. And it seems to me that when I put my legal hat on, what Donald Trump is trying to do is he's trying to expand the powers of the executive branch. We all know, or we should know in this country, that there are 3 co-equal branches of government. You got
Who are they, Sonny?
Okay, so you've got the judicial branch, you've got the executive branch, and you've got the legislative branch. The legislative branch is the branch that Sarah was just talking about, which is Congress, right? So you've got the House and Senate, power of the purse. What he is trying to do is trying to figure out how he can expand his power, the power of the executive branch, and have a little more power over Congress. And he certainly has kind of a bit of power over the judicial branch, because the top of the judicial branch is the Supreme Court, which he has packed with loyalists. So in my view, I think he's causing a constitutional crisis intentionally so that this goes to the Supreme Court.
By the time the segment ended, The View was already in damage control mode. Within minutes, clips of Whoopi and Sunny's shocking accusations were flooding social media, and the backlash was immediate. Even some of the show's most loyal, left-leaning viewers were stunned. It was one thing to criticize Musk for his policies or business moves, but openly claiming on national television that he was orchestrating a secret government takeover. That was a whole different level of reckless that ABC executives knew they had a crisis on their hands. Backstage, tensions were through the roof. Whoopi, never one to admit fault, rolled her eyes and muttered about how the show was becoming too censored. Meanwhile, Sunny, who, as a former prosecutor, should have known better, looked noticeably shaken. She had to realize just how much legal trouble she might have just invited. Defamation lawsuits have been flying left and right lately, and the last thing ABC needed was a legal battle with one of the most powerful men in the world. Executives wasted no time pulling their top lawyers into an emergency meeting. The network had already faced multiple lawsuits over past controversies, but this time they were staring down a potential legal showdown with Elon Musk himself. The question wasn't if Musk would respond, it was how, and sure enough, it didn't take long. Within hours, Musk took to Twitter, his favorite battleground, to mock the situation. Apparently, I'm secretly running the government now. Well, wish someone had told me. He capped it off with a laughing emoji, and within seconds, the internet exploded. Memes flooded social media, ridiculing The View for what many were calling its most ridiculous claim yet. Calls for ABC to take action against Whoopi and Sunny grew louder, with some even suggesting it was time to pull the plug on The View entirely. Meanwhile, legal experts debated whether Musk had grounds for a defamation case. Given his history of pushing back against false media narratives, the possibility was very real. If Musk decided to take ABC to court, this wouldn't just be another scandal for The View. It could mark the beginning of the end.